I'm the first guy that won a city with two cars. They couldn't decide, and I told them I wasn't going to decide for them. I built them to go together, and I won. And then I went on to the next year, won again, in Houston. My kids, it's going to sound pompous no matter how you say it, but they've never watched me lose in person before. They have met me as the upholsterer to the stars. They met me as now, 5 and 7 years old, their dad's a Hall of Famer. I don't put in the effort that I do to be second best at anything. If I'm going to take the time to do it, I want to shine as the guy to beat.
Well, welcome today. My name is Cindy Barlow. I'm the Director of Industry Relations with Wyotech, and today I have
Mikey Brown of Paper to Pavement on YouTube. I am a graduate here and the upholsterer to the stars out in the real world thanks to the upholstery department here at Wyotech.
That's very cool. Tell us a little bit more about your journey and what you've gone through this last year. It's been actually the last 2 years because it's been a pretty exciting journey. And Hot Wheels legend is sitting right here at our table today. So tell us a little more about that.
I made the commitment a few years back to start Paper to Pavement, and the whole kind of guideline around it all was to try to be a Hot Wheels legend. I was trying to find a brand that I could associate with that would take me to a global level, and I've found my place on the stage as a winner in the Hot Wheels Legends Tour twice now.
What's the paper part?
The paper is the sketches. I draw everything from pencil and paper, sometimes napkins and cardboard even. I say I make smiles from scrap piles, so I like using up everything that people see as trash. I've been looked down on a little bit in my life, and I like to show the pretty side of me, all while still petting the wild dog that's still in there.
Tell us a little bit about the, let's start with your first car that you did with Hot Wheels Legend and what Jay Leno had to say about you. And then let's go into the redemption vehicle after that.
Yeah, the first full commitment I went to go for the Hot Wheels Legends Tour was a team transport set. I built two cars. I built two Izettas. One I call the Pickle Jar, and it's a flatbed truck that hauls a Harley-Davidson powered flip body funny car that I built out of another Izetta. And my whole idea with that was, and I kind of read it wrong now looking back, but the year before that, a truck had won called Texas Toot. It was a big monster truck, and I thought that Hot Wheels had went outside of the main line for the first time in this competition, and I thought immediately, it just like a lightning bolt hit me, and I like the team transports the best in their line, so that's what I'm going to speak to. I'm going to go out there and build two cars and show up with the best I can do. And I knew that that wasn't going to be the best in the world because I build from a scrap pile. If you look at how my cars finish, that isn't near as impressive to me as what it looks like at the starting line.
The passion that goes into it.
The starts on these cars are what everyone I know sees as garbage. Like, it is trash. And I like making trash from treasure and trying to give out a message through this Hot Wheels Legends Tour and speak to as many young and older people as I can to let them know and remind them that going green doesn't always mean electric and, all these different sources of fuel. You can recycle. You can use what's here and already wasted material that people see as trash. If you use that up and clean it, I think you'd leave a lot smaller footprint after you're gone. And that's the message I'm trying to push. And this Hot Wheels competition, it sent me that first year to Jay Leno's pick all the way to the grand finale, which 10,000 people sign up for this show. So just to make it to the top 24 is an almost impossible, feat when you look at it from the outside. But I just felt something in me that I could really do this. I have access to two little kids at home, a 5 and 7 year old. And if they like it every single day, I know that a Hot Wheels crowd will like it. So I almost have a cheat code sitting there at the house.
That's great. So you won once or twice?
Yeah, well, I came up short. I got Jay Leno's pick in the world in 2023, and everybody was congratulating me and telling me how proud they were, and I was at home looking in the mirror asking, where did I mess up? What have I done wrong? I should have, in my opinion, I should have won that year. I got beat by a Mazda Miata, and it felt about like it would losing a race to a Mazda Miata. It wasn't a great feeling. I'd been around the world, built them cars in 80 days, and built 2 cars by myself in 80 days and showed up with what I thought was make a massive impact, something no one else could sign up for. Hot Wheels asked for 3 categories. They asked for 3 things. They asked for creativity, authenticity, and garage spirit. And I still believe to this day, if I'm showing up, they're going to be sweating. That second year, I sat down with tears in my eyes right after that finale. Right after the finale of the first year, I was like, I'm going to plan out next year right now while I'm upset. I was sad. I mean, I was heartbroken. And here I've got everybody I know telling me how proud they are. They just seen Jay Leno give me a shout out, which
it was pretty special.
It was. But in reality, it was a virtual pat on the back. And my kids don't eat pats on the back, you know. And I signed up for this thing to take it down. I feel like I am the guy in this world to beat in this lane. And the second year, I decided off the drawing I came up with that night, tears covered on that paper, I wrote the word redemption vehicle. And as soon as I seen that RV, I knew exactly what I had to do. I dreamed up another Izetta. Izettas are my favorite car. So I was like, I'm going to dream up an Izetta RV, and if I can put together a redemption vehicle out of my trash pile, there ain't nobody in the world that could beat me. And I ended up making it all the way to the finale again. I won in Houston, Texas, and drove it, hauled it with my scrap pile bus.
Don't forget that other step of that.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
you
always
went.
try to miss the bad stuff, but I wanted to really make an impact as a Hot Wheels legend in my home state of Indiana.
Right.
So the whole goal was to finish this thing in, I had 80 days. I gave myself to build the RV from nothing. Coach built from electrical conduit and sheet metal I cut off that school bus. On day one, I had no clue how it was going to happen. I just knew it was. I knew that if I prayed hard enough and really listened to what my soul was telling me, that it would lead me right where I needed to go. And I was confused in Indianapolis because I'm standing there with what was obviously the most creative, authentic, garage-spirited project on the property, no doubt. And I had the crowd telling me that all day. And then at the end...
It was a busy day at that crowd.
It was busy. And then I was more confused than anything. There was a car there that was a friend of mine, and it was... Dustin Cooper's his name, and it was just the nicest T-bucket on the planet with a very good story. His dad built it way back in the day, so when I showed up, I already thought, man, I'm going to get beat up by Dustin Cooper today, but that didn't happen. We got beat by a guy we weren't not even on the radar, which is what's always happened to me there. And I went home that day just kind of giggling in confusion almost because I had just went through an 80-day thrash session for that thing to exist. And when I went home, Ruthie come out, I'm crying, and she asked me, what would make you feel better right now? And I said, if I went out there and I pulled that school bus out of the bottom of that scrap pile that I did not know if it would even drive to town. I had no clue. It had been rusted up. It had been cut up real bad. And I told her in the next 21 days, I'm going to build that bus. I'm going to paint freak flake on that car because I ran out of time and didn't get to flake the car. I was like, I'm going to freak flake that car. I'm going to load it up on this scrap pile spaceship, what I named that bus, and I'm going to go to Houston, Texas, and I'm going to prove them that they were wrong.
So I want to stop you right there for a second because one of the things that when you were in Indy, that when they were giving out the results of the win and who is going to be that Hot Wheels for that show, you did something really special that day that I don't know that I've ever witnessed something like that was so special. But your kids looked up at you and they said, Daddy, did you win? And you knelt down and you pulled your kids in and you said, you know what, kids? You don't always win. But you know what? It doesn't matter because I made this for you. Tell me more about your family and that kind of support because right there you were talking about how Ruthie was really supporting you and all the way. And then add to that, is it normal to see somebody else be able to make it into 2 Hot Wheel Legends show in 1 year? Has that ever happened before?
Not that I know of. I'm the first guy that won a city with 2 cars. They couldn't decide, and I told them I wasn't going to decide for them. You know, I built them to go together. And I won, and then I went on to the next year, won again, you know, in Houston. And the opportunity I got in Indianapolis that I look back now, thankful, is that, you know, my kids... It's going to sound pompous no matter how you say it, but they've never watched me lose in person before. I don't put in the effort that I do to be second best at anything. If I'm going to take the time to do it, I want to shine as the guy to beat. And my kids know me as that only. They have met me as the upholsterer to the stars. They met me as now, 5 and 7 years old, their dad's a Hall of Famer, and there's a part of that that scares me, that, that they're going to be scared to go for things because they're really big. But I always like taking the chance when we get bad to explain to them the beauty in the bad, because nothing has ever came from a good situation with me. I have had to be knocked out to stand back up and show what I'm really made of. And I'm not an undefeated fighter, never will be, but I can take a hit now because I've taken so many. And I liked that I could go down there and tell my daughter, I don't care about this win. I built a toy for you guys to play with, and we don't have to give it to them.
You guys went home and went camping in the yard.
That
it
night,
was pretty cool.
Yeah, that night. I thought the only way that I'm going to shake this off is to use it for what I truly built it for, which was for my kids to play with. And I knew that if they played with it and enjoyed it, a win wasn't going to matter.
And the redemption vehicle won.
Yeah. And I was there with it. I was there. These kids, these cars are kind of kids to me too, even in more ways. Like me and Ruthie threw the ingredients together and God gave us the kids. I didn't have much control over it, but these are kids that I can clone exactly how I want and exactly how I see them finished in my head. And it lets me express the kind of oddity that I wish that I seen every day. I do wish that more people were Dr. Seuss's in the world, and and Mr. Rogers. And I do believe that there's a positive outlook in the future that me speaking to a younger crowd is really important for, and to be able to do that in front of my kids. And I do know that they take it as important. Even going home with that loss, my daughter especially was kind of upset. She'd helped me design it. I really trust her judgment the whole way, and it upset me more that she took it personally.
Oh.
So when I came home, I felt like I knew exactly what I could do to prove her right. We built a car. We built a really good car.
Yeah.
And me and her did. Every step of the way, she was on my shoulders, looking at it. What's wrong? She'd tell me. She's
and
like,
you'd always take the time to bust out of your shop and push your kids on the bicycle. Your YouTube page, Paper to Pavement, is absolutely amazing. And you give people that view inside of your life of what it's like to be on your little acre of earth. And so I know personally, as I've watched you through this journey, that it's been very special. I personally call you guys family because of it all. It's been pretty special to me. Mikey, what does it mean to you to have been inducted into the Wyotech Hall of Fame?
It's a little confusing. I don't qualify for the Hall of Fame in my own business. I feel like I haven't even scratched the surface of my potential, honestly. 35 years old. My grandpa made it to 70. So if I'm at the middle of my life right now, I'm standing in a really good spot. I've earned it, though. I'm proud to say I've earned it. I appreciate you guys noticing, because I have been locked all alone in my shop. I felt all alone. No matter how many people view, a hug at the end of the day is the only thing that matters to me.
There's nothing wrong with being thrown a cookie, right?
No. And this is my family. When Anthony Palm met me at 16, I was trouble. I was dynamite, just waiting to blow up at any time, and never met anybody I liked, I don't think. Never really had any friends or any of that. Just always kind of the oddball that stood out. But when it came to shop class, when it came to making CO2 cars, mousetrap, anything that you had to make from nothing, I was a superstar to everybody in even elementary school. So I always had kind of a respect of privacy, so I didn't get bullied or anything.
You went to Wyotech twice.
Yeah, I did. I went the first time, and man, it was kind of wild. It's wild that I'm sitting here off of my first run at Wyotech, because that kid didn't have anything. Like that kid was lost. He was trying to find a place in the world. And the very first phase, I almost failed. I had a 70, 0.2 or something. And I was the dumbest person in my second phase. I had the lowest passing grade. And I asked myself, why did I do this? I'm so good. I just got recruited to come here. Anthony Palm came and picked me out of a paint booth and just begged me to go to school. And then I come here and I'm not what I thought I was. I thought I was really hot stuff at that vocational school, and then got here and realized the world was a lot bigger. But I started to really know myself at Wyotech. For the first time, I stopped having my family and the people around me beat in who I need to be. And I was like, no, I can just do my best and be my best and try my best. And I met instructors that were similar to me, which is a great thing wyotech offers, is instructors from many different walks of life with so many different perspectives. And I met Brian Pierce, in Street Rod, and that was the very end of my run, the first time out of high school. And I met Brian Pierce, and he was kind of an odd cat. He was into older style cars that I didn't even know existed, which really inspired who I am today. I owe a lot to him for just bringing magazines and things I wish I had growing up.
You bet.
And just to know I got to wyotech, and they took somebody nobody wanted and turned me into somebody that everybody wants is hard to swallow some days. But all my instructors made me. They did way more than they got paid for.
That's special.
They came in early, they stayed late because I wanted to.
Yeah.
And the hard part for me that first phase wasn't being away from home and being alone, like that. No, from my perspective, I was getting forced to be around so many people that I didn't want to be. I wanted to be alone. I was used to being alone, and I was no longer. So it was weird. And then when I started, let your guard down, open your ears, shut your mouth, keep your eyes on the people that they need to be pointed at, which is the instructors. They're getting paid to turn me into a big force moving forward. So in Street Rod, I really kind of blossomed. And then as soon as I started to bloom, I graduated and kind of got thrown back out into the real world. And I went right back home. I got a job at O'Reilly Auto Parts. That's all that I could find. It was in 2008 too. So we were at a pretty big low in the country. And Cash for Clunkers hit too, which me as a scrapper absolutely ruined my game plans in life. So I just didn't get out of school the first time thinking I had made a good choice and realizing that my run through collision refinishing, I could have done so much better. And even the first half of Street Rod, there was so much more in me that I was almost scared to show for people to judge me on it. And then it's well, if they're watching, just give them a show. Go in and give them a show. And I failed. I got out of class, I got out of school, and I felt like I was just a failure walking around the world. I wanted to be the man. I came to college to own my own business and not have to stop working
but you
when
came
the
back.
bell rings.
You came back.
Thanks to Ruthie.
Yeah.
She told me, she was like, what regrets do you have, right? You're 23. I was 23 at the time. She was like, what regrets could you possibly have? And I said, I should have took upholstery. I could have stood out. There's no upholsterers in the world. And the people that I'm paying to do it, I feel as if I can already do it better than. I just don't know how to use a machine. And she said, well, what do we have to do to get you back there? And we had to take a loan out against house. And it was a gamble because coming back, I didn't just take a loan out to come to school. I took a loan out to come to school and build a building behind my house. I'd had my house paid off. I'd just been in a spot where I'd found a repo house. I'm a hustler. I can find a good deal. And I pretty much went yard sale shopping for property there in Deputy and found a farmer that was willing to give me 1 acre of earth is what I got now.
How
and
cool is that?
When I went back, I was a different animal. I looked at myself in my apartment right in the mirror the night before I started class, and I promised my 50-year-old self that I was going to turn me into something.
And look at you now.
35, And I still want to promise that 50-year-old guy that the person sitting here speaking in this microphone will get lost in your shadow. I promise.
That's awesome. Mikey, we cannot begin to tell you how proud we are of you here at wyotech and how thankful we are that you're here again today and that you're being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Can't begin to tell you how much I am personally proud of you as a friend and as a partner in wyotech, basically. So thank you for being here today, and look forward to seeing you down the road at the next Hot Wheels Legend.
Thank you so much. Look for me on a stage wherever I land this year at the Legend Store. I think I'm shooting for the Vegas stop, so Be sure to follow the whole process on Paper to Pavement on YouTube.
Paper to Pavement.
And I'm on Instagram at Mikey Brown 1957. I try to post my daily stuff on there and then the long form, fully edited stuff that I do with my business partner, Trent Sherrill of Speed and Culture Chronicles. He's getting to have a book come out too, so buy every copy while you can. They're going to fly off the shelves.
Make sure he gets me one.
Oh, we'll get you one.
All right.
Thank you
Mikey.
so much.